look back when you're old and gray and think those dumb kids had a lot to say when we were trying to make this night one you'd remember. I don't care if my wheels don't turn, I don't care if my pipe don't burn, as long as I am flowing through your veins after I'm gone away.
It's Thursday night, and you know what that means.
Time for Thematically Speaking, and it's the start of the show. So what's that time for?
Joker of the week.
Hello, we're Loops and Lap Bars, and we have a question for you.
What do you call a magic dog?
Labracadabrador.
That was a
And
good one.
just before I bring
Thank
our
you for
guest
that one.
on for this week, just a bit of a hook for anyone who's already tuned in. The date for the grand final of Attractions Ultimatum is going to be revealed at the end of the show, which no one knows apart from me and the other people on the show. So we're going to reveal what day it's on and when it's happening, but that's going to be the end of that's the hook. So, but did you want to introduce our guest today?
We have our wonderful guest tonight, and it is Ewan MacGregor.
Hey.
Hello.
You know the amount of head turns I got when I revealed that last week, that it was Ewan MacGregor. Let's start with that, actually. What's it been like having that name?
I guess I bring an air of disappointment wherever I go.
Oh.
Because by the time...
How old were you when you were aware of it?
So it wasn't really until Train Spotting came out in the early 90s that Ewan MacGregor really kind of shot to stardom, I guess. And then it wasn't really again until Star Wars came, you know, episode 1, 2, and 3, that it was like, oh, Ewan MacGregor. And it was like, oh. So any time I'd book a restaurant or, you know, called to be anywhere, it would be like, oh, Ewan MacGregor. And even now, there are still, yes, lots of jokes that come in, and it's
the jokes are coming in already.
There was never a time where you kind of were happy about it then. No.
I guess not. And to be honest, mostly now I just go by Ewan because my surname just causes all sorts of almost doubt sometimes.
Have you been tempted to change it or not?
Maybe at some point. Maybe if like something crazy happens, I might end up having to change it, but hopefully not. I kind of bear that surname because my grandfather actually did a family tree and traced our family line all the way back to Rob Roy. So we've got like proper Scottish heritage in our blood, and my crest hangs on my wall, and our family slogan is Saroya Moderem, which is Royal is my race. And it kind of feels good inside to have that family heritage there, but it's not his family heritage. We're different to that.
Oh no, but it's still good to keep it going, though, isn't it?
I thought I'd quickly touch on, because we know each other, but we hadn't seen each other in about 12 years. I remember when I used to do Coaster Force and stuff like that, and we kind of saw each other at meets. And then the end of the day, opening day this year at Alton Towers, and you got the last ride on the Curse opening day, and I was there taking nighttime photos. And I just turned around and I was like, yeah, and you remember me as well. And it was just really weird meeting up again. It was like 12, 30, something like that.
That's amazing.
This is the joy of the coaster community, and I'm so glad that my son is kind of getting into it as well. He hasn't experienced that yet, and I've been trying to explain to him as he's kind of grown up that the people that you meet in this industry, the people that are fans, the people that are part of it, it doesn't matter how long it goes between seeing them. You accept that because you've got this weird hobby, it might be year upon year upon year before you cross paths again. But when you do, it's like you've never been away. And it's just that instant click there, because you'll always share that thing in common that bonds you. Like,
yeah,
it's there, you know. Same as football. This is what I don't get about football, right? It's very tribalist, and you know, when a football fan meets a football fan and they don't support the same football team, they become enemies. But with us coaster fans, it's like it doesn't matter. We're fans of riding.
You say that. I think there's some. Have you been to Flamingo Land?
It's effectively my local park, unfortunately.
Okay. I sometimes get there's people that somehow like Hero, and the other people don't like them for liking it.
I have no idea how. That is a
I'd
very
like to add-
strange thing to like.
I'd like to add that about different music genres, because I was in one band where it was like heavy sort of metal music, and then another one that I took part in which was more like the punk scene. So it was the fact that there's two different things, and obviously when you're in your early teens it's like enemies because you don't follow metal and all that jazz, but actually we meet up and it's like we just met each other yesterday, you know, like it's like the same day over again. We've not been apart for that long.
And I get that there's some rivalry between some theme parks. You know, you've got your Blackpool Pleasure Beach fanboys who love the Grand National till the thing falls apart, and you've got your Nemesis fanboys who are, you know, and then the Thorpe Park fan. But you wouldn't not go to the other park just because you're a fanboy of that park, or you wouldn't, you know, it's something that I really like is that everybody can get together, and when everybody does get together, like I don't know if you were there for the Nemesis closing stuff and.
No, I went the day before.
Yeah, so like even for the Curse opening, you know, it was nothing that major as far as the ride went, but just to see that many people that all share some kind of passion, I thought what a lovely hobby to be part of, where it doesn't matter where you're from, doesn't matter what you believe in, you can all just be here sharing this moment together. And I wish that the parks realised that, especially here in the UK. It feels like in America and sometimes in Europe, they get bigger opening ceremonies and, you know, official announcement things. And they appreciate their community that supports them. Whereas here, I think there's an element of that that's missing sometimes. Like with the enemy.
All I can say is the opening for CBeebies Land when those...
that wasn't the actual opening for CBeebies Land. That's the opening every day. They got these fake fireworks.
Yeah, it was in the morning. I thought it was brilliant, though. Like, it was just like, isn't that so cool? But if you can imagine that as a child, that is just...
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask, because you brought up Nemesis. Were you there on the final day then?
Of course.
What did you think about the fact do you think they shouldn't have let people know there was going to be a message after the fireworks? Because people expected a lot more than what that little message was. I saw a lot of videos and I agreed watching the videos, it seemed like, considering how much they'd hyped, on the Sunday we're going to have this message. And it just seemed to tell us what we already knew in a very quick amount of time.
I mean, to be honest, most people know my opinion of Merlin. I am not a fan of the Greedy Corporation. So the fact that they're even retracking this thing for me is a bit of a miracle. And I'm greatly appreciative that they are doing that. And the fact that they are trying to build some hype is great too. I just hope that they're not... I don't know. It feels like it's getting a bit too cheesy almost. That it's going to lose some of that specialness.
What do you think of the paint job?
Oh, okay. What do I think?
I'm the only one who doesn't think it. I think it looks all right.
Yeah,
I think it would look better not to have. Well, they're meant to be veins, but I always joke they look like coral. Whenever we do a vlog there, I go, we've got the exclusive. It's actually coral because it's a crab.
And then the weirdest thing is, obviously, the Little Mermaid came out this year, so you know the relation between.
I think if they just put the veins on certain parts, like to accent the loop and stuff like that, but to have it along,
for me, it gives me a very War of the Worlds feeling, like the red weed creeping rather than a vein. But I don't get why it's there. My concern is the fact that after a season or two, it's probably been shared many times before, is that it will look disgusting. It will be peeling. It will be chipped. It seems very intricate for them to do that. And I don't know. It's a bit fairgroundy for me. But if they're trying to develop this story and a narrative, then I'm happy to see where it goes and wait till the finished product. And I'm just concerned that they can't really do much with the space. It's very limited. It was designed the way it was, you know, it's been designed how it was, and they're trying to go in now and like, it feels like shoehorn more into it. Sorry, a question popped up.
Yeah, a question.
What's your favorite instruction manual from a Lego set? Is the Saturn 5 set.
Oh, that's rather than what's your favorite set, what's my favorite instruction manual? One of the manuals I had has really nice pictures in it, but I can't remember what it is. Actually, I think it's one of the Ideas sets, the Treehouse maybe. That's a really nice set. And of course, the Disney Castle is a lovely set.
Have you got a favorite set?
My favorite set? Ooh, that's a real tough one. I guess I'm just looking around. It's probably either Ninjago City, The tree house, the ideas tree house,
Yeah.
or what's the other one I've got that I really love? This used to be my number one question on TikTok, and I had them like ready to roll off my tongue because I got asked it about 8 times a night. But yeah, it was. I'd love to build. I've got a Titanic sat over here too, which I would love to build. It isn't out the box yet, but that looks amazing as well.
That's gonna take a long time.
Do you do like I don't know if you do coaster creds, but do you do the sort of thing with Lego sets where you keep a number of how many different ones you've?
Because of the fact it's my business rather than it's kind of more than a hobby now. I don't count it just because I feel that it would be cheating. Because I get a lot of exposure to a lot of Lego sets, and I'm very blessed that because of the work that I do, I'm able to build sets that most people don't have access to. And so for me, it doesn't count. I don't count that as, oh, I got to build or keep this thing. It's okay, I did this thing for work. And yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot. It must be way into the thousands. It must be.
What? I don't quite understand what MA Travels mean by old or new Disney castle. Did they do an old?
So the big Disney castle, they actually discontinued it about 6 months ago, and then they've rehashed it for the 100-year anniversary of Disney.
You mean the small one?
No, the big one. The big.
I know what you're
I know.
about.
Is the new one small? Is the new one big as well?
The new one is very big. Exactly.
There is a small set as well, isn't there?
That's right. Right. So they've basically redone the Cinderella castle to match the Magic Kingdom repaint with kind of the more pinky and grey vibes, bluey grey vibes, and then now the Lego set represents that as well.
Which do you prefer?
Which do I prefer? Probably I don't know. I haven't built the new one, so I can't comment. I have the old one, so I'm gonna have to go with the old one because I've built it myself and I know what it's like and it's lovely.
I just want to point. I don't know if she wants me to point this out, but Maddie from MA Travels, when they came on the show, her dad helped make some of the. He was making some of the Lego games, video games.
Oh yeah.
And there's a DLC on the Batman one, and where the Joker jumps out of a cake.
Yeah, and
and she designed the cake in real life for him to put in the game.
That is very cool.
That's epic, isn't it?
That is very cool. Like the stuff that Lego can do is, and what they're capable of. Sometimes I do question them a lot, but especially the direction they're going at the moment. But some of the stuff that they can create and the instructions, and not just that, but the durability of everything, it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Hey, it's some BrickBox shots.
Wow, look at the setup.
Yeah.
So this is your old shop.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is about 8 years ago when we first started trading. We were in a tiny little unit inside of a bowling alley, and yeah, you can see sort of our minifigure cabinet that's full of individual figures. We've got our pick and mix drawers, and then we've got a mixture of new and new sets on the walls and shelves there.
Yeah. Do you actually like? This sounds really sad now because this is what I do. Do you actually like time yourself how long it actually takes you to put them together as well?
Not so much time for the fact of, oh yeah, I did it in this long. It's more actually for the cost. So if I look at a model and I think, okay, I'm gonna have, if that's coming in, like I just got the UCS Millennium Falcon in on trade.
Yeah.
But I know that the last time I built that live on TikTok and it took me 29 hours. So usually I can half that.
Not
time.
in one sitting, right?
Not in one sitting. No, I'd have a very sore back. But yeah, I sound like such an old man when I say that. But God, my chiropractor loves my job. I'm pretty sure I keep my chiropractor in business. But so what I've got to take into consideration when I'm buying something in is what's the hour cost that's going to get it from how it's coming in what state it's in, to being cleaned, sterilized, piece checked, rebuilt, and then sold. So yeah, there's all those kind of business elements that go on.
That's just for Hush Hush. He tunes in every week for a little bit. I have to advertise because he sent me that. So,
everyone that's doing as well.
Park Pulse says, "What is your least favorite set?" I just want to give a shout out to Park Pulse. He's he's a regular fan, and I appreciate viewer really.
Oh,
I
we
don't like
really
to use the phrase
appreciate you.
fan. I use the phrase viewer really.
Viewer.
Fan just
Well, yeah,
feels-
thanks everybody as well. It's great to be here. It really is. It's lovely to be
But,
chatting.
he's in the States, so I always feel like he's put more effort in. Sometimes last week he was watching from King's Dominion, and I was like, "Why aren't you going some rides?"
Man, that's awesome.
Nice. I like King's Dominion. It was quite a nice park when I was there. What's my least favorite set? What is my least favorite set? There are some Star Wars sets that are horrendous that I don't like. There are some. What did they just do that I thought was the dots range was miserable. Oh no, what was it? Video. It was like, I don't even know if you know that range. It was like tiny little boxes with characters in, so you couldn't feel the minifigure bag type idea. And they were like £20 a box. And I said, within 6 months, this will be all on discount, all in pound shops, all being, and it was. So I didn't touch any of that.
What do you like with the polybag? So you good at this finding out?
Well, we used to do it a lot. I used to do a lot of feeling in bags for stuff, mainly for Mr. Gold. I don't know if you know of that time.
Yeah.
So I probably felt through about 1,400 bags trying to find a Mr. Gold.
Oh my god!
At that time, I was a store manager for Hamleys. So when a delivery would come in of Series 10s, I know that's really sneaky, but I was like, there's got to be some perks to this horrific job.
How much that retail for
Just
now?
while you're stacking them on the pegs, you're like,
I'm like, feeling for
How
that
much
top
that
part.
retail for now, Mr. Gold?
You what? Sorry.
How much does the Mr. Gold retail for now? Like,
if you've got him with his certificate of authenticity, which came in the actual polybag itself, you're probably looking at about 2,500. If he's still sealed in the bag, probably about 4,000 to 4,500.
Oh, there's another question here. Oh, thank you guys, MA Travels, for joining us. On here, there's another question. It says, "What's Ewan's favorite minifigure?"
Ooh, probably Davy Jones. I think he's such a cool minifigure. He's got like a full tentacle beard, and he's got his crab hand and a cool hat. He's also very expensive too.
Is he? Oh,
about
wow.
110, 120 pounds for a Davy Jones.
Wow, did not know that.
Yeah, he's very cool. But I mean, there's some other good ones out there. I like the flying monkeys from Wizard of Oz too. They did some flying monkeys, and I love the shape of the legs on them. They've even got like weird bow little monkey legs. But yeah, there's some cute minifigures out there. I love the unique mold stuff.
Hot dog guy.
Yeah, hot dog guy is wicked. It was always great when he came out. He was really easy to feel for because he was such we call it a clipper board piece or clipper frame. It was so easy to feel for. You're just like, right, that's hot dog guy. That's hot dog guy. And for a while, I was very good at sorting that out. But our business model kind of changed as we moved away from retail and into leisure, and that's kind of where the focus is now.
Oh, we're getting the joke now from Part Pulse. This is, I would have assumed Kenobi.
Aha, I should have, right? Oh, I'm destroying my microphone.
So, on the photo on the left, I just want to give a shout out to the monster sets at the top because I remember when they were around. They were cool, but also the box underneath the orange box is the birthday party kit. Do you want to tell us a bit about what's inside that box? Yeah, so not a lot really. It's kind of probably the biggest rip-off box in the world. If I recall, I mean, this is going back to nearly 10 years. I believe there's like a little birthday minifigure, some invitations, some party games, like a napkin, maybe like a little brick as well that says happy birthday. But yeah, for 30 quid, not a lot. And just to go back to the Monster Fighters stuff. Monster Fighters was actually what got me back into Lego. Oh, really? It was the Haunted House set because I just finished doing my first Scarefest at Alton Towers in the Carnival of Screams in the Black Hole tent. Yeah. And I had a bit of a bonus because I was working a regular job too, and I'd taken 2 weeks holiday from my regular job to go and do Scarefest. So I had an extra, it was like $1.5 grand, $2,000 that came in. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to treat myself. And I bought the Monster Fighters Haunted House set. And that's what started all of this madness.
That sounds crazy because when I first did Scare Amazing and we went to Legoland, I actually bought the Halloween set that had the little ghosts and little props and things.
Props,
and I ended up buying some customized Lego versions of me and Mike, and I said, oh, wouldn't it be so cool if I could get like make a scare maze with them and like that, do like little faces that go on the other side of them as well, like they're scared sort of thing. So never got around to it in the end, but they're still in the box intact. So
I'm assuming they do, but the Lego sets, sometimes the later sets take a lot of I don't know if poetic license is the right word, from older sets, because did the Scooby-Doo Mansion set take a lot of stuff from that set?
Yeah, so they basically, all their old, we call them like the classic things. You got classic knights, classic pirates, classic space, and then effectively what they've managed to do is overlay them with IPs. So you've got like your jungle set became Indiana Jones. You've got your knights, and knights and castles kind of became Lord of the Rings, but then died out. But now it's coming back again. Your classic pirates became Pirates of the Caribbean. And even Cowboys and Indians became Lone Ranger, which failed massively, but that's because the film flopped. But yeah, this is my kind of concern, I guess, with the theme park industries too. I hate the use of IPs. Like, there's a time and a place, but not all the time, and not in a higgledy-piggledy mess. But
I think Thorpe should go all the way. I think Thorpe could be pretty decent as a movie park where it is.
Yeah, I have to disagree with that, just because I think, because if you look at the Merlin creative team, if you actually look and see what they've done with the Curse and with Wicker Man, and you look at the concept art and you see the raw talent that these people have, when you bring an IP along, the constraints that then get put on you. I know some people will say, oh, but that's good, it makes you think out the box, but you're endlessly having to then bow down to somebody else, in the sense of it's got to not just pass the creative director of the project, you've then got to put it to the movie studio or who wrote the book, or they have to approve it too. And I just think that with complete creative freedom, these guys can create amazing things. To me, there's no need for IPs, but I get that it's an easy marketing sale. I get that it's easy to your customers already have a relationship with that, especially if it's nostalgic or it's, important to them. It's an easy way to sell. But personally speaking, I certainly don't get David Walliams' world. I don't get that at all. That's the most bizarre thing ever, especially because he's got such an odd background. I would not want to be tying myself to David Walliams.
I think the only thing I could think of when they did that was that it was related to the BBC, because he's well known in the BBC for working with them. Like his program, I think his stories are actually like
some of them have been turned into like
now, the BBC.
Long drama type things on the BBC. I just think
that's the only way I can relate it.
But the whole area, this is one of my concerns with the theme park industry at the minute, is, or especially in the UK, it feels like it's lost its way a little bit. Like, I look at Alton Towers, and 10 years ago or 15 years ago, it had cohesive lands, that was a land, and all the things inside it matched that land. And now you've got these kind of, you've got Wicker Man bolted onto Mutiny Bay, you've got not CBeebies land, sorry, you've got Adventureland bolted onto CBeebies land, but not part of it, and then David Walliams in the middle of Cloud Cuckoo Land that's not even Cloud Cuckoo Land anymore. And it's the thing that I bonded with Alton Towers with the most was the fact that everywhere you went, you never felt like you were anywhere normal, and it all made sense, even though it was
flowed.
Yeah, that is exactly it.
Flowed, not let's just fit it here and there. It just
there's a lot of like, we'll just ram. It's like trying to put square pegs in circle holes. And
yes.
Yeah.
You're perfectly wording everything, to be honest, on that one.
What's your favourite Legoland ride?
I've only been once. I hated it. I vowed never to go again.
You should go on a bank holiday weekend.
I did go in the school holidays, but it was when I actually worked at Thorpe Park. So back in 2009, I went and I stayed for 3 hours. Of that 3 hours, 2 hours was spent queuing for the Jungle roller coaster, which I don't believe exists.
Did it have the roof on by then?
It did, yeah. It was like riding in a golf cart.
That was an odd time.
Very strange. I rode that. I rode the Dragon roller coaster, and I rode the Rapids, and that was it. That was my day at Legoland. So unfortunately, I can't really give an accurate. I'd like to go back at some point, maybe, but it's just such a long way for us to travel.
It's a long way. Yeah,
it's 4.5 hours, and when I'm that close to stealth, it's like I gotta have a bit of stealth.
Do you want to tell us about these sets?
Yeah, so this is actually is what I'm working on at the minute. My front room looks like a Lego spaceport at the moment. Yeah, so basically our business does trading, and somebody walked in with all those sets. There's 5 sets in total. There's 2 in the green box.
Wow.
And yeah, I effectively said, look, I'll give you X amount, and now my job is to clean them, sterilize them, and put them back together, and then somebody will come along and sell them. Come along and buy them, sorry, and hopefully I'll make a little bit of money from them. But,
How long does it take to do a check on that all the parts are there?
well, yes, sometimes a long time. I mean, the Millennium Falcon could take about 10 hours. The Star Destroyer could take 10 hours. But when I'm building them, I've got into the habit of using, because I've only got GCSEs, you see, I have nothing more than GCSEs. So I've actually taken a lot of the time that I use when I'm building. I put a podcast on in my ears, often some form of educational thing. Like I've taken, I think it's about 120 hours now of a philosophy degree from somebody from Harvard that basically was it Harvard or I can't remember. I think it was Harvard, and they recorded their whole lectures for their psychology degree. So I've done a Bible studies course. I've studied the Quran. I really like religious texts. You see, I'm not a particularly religious person, but I love the deep philosophies that are hidden inside the texts. And I think that there's some really golden nuggets of information there that, yeah, there's a lot of things that get twisted and manipulated by man, but the root of it all is really interesting. So yeah, I've kind of been educating myself. So I don't see it as building time is not negative for me. It's a learning time. So that's how I kind of maximize my time. I often take social media courses as well. And sometimes I put theme park blogs on, just things I can listen to. The problem with theme park things is they're quite a visual experience. So it's really difficult to kind of watch. And that's why I don't really have much involvement as such in watching these kind of vloggers. You know, people say, oh, do you watch this guy or this guy or this guy? And it's like, no. But I like to listen. So anybody that can sit and talk, and I can just listen without many visuals, I'm in there. So yeah, all sorts of stuff. Listen to a lot of doctors, a lot of scientists, lots of people from all over the spectrum of belief, and yeah, it's really interesting. So Lego's kind of like my kind of occupation for my hands, whilst my brain is doing a bit of learning.
I would say, is it like a bit of mindfulness for you as well? Because it's like you're in the moment of, yes, this needs doing, but then you're not seeing it as like a chore. It's just like, because you're listening to that course, it's like you kind of taking your time and mindfully doing stuff. I think that's really cool, actually. You have to let me know all the podcasts and things. Yeah, I happily do that. I'm more of a listener as well, but
yeah, I guess probably my favorite philosopher to listen to is he's a little controversial, but Dr. Jordan Peterson. His courses are unbelievable, and the conversations that he has, they're often longhand conversations, because I'm not a massive fan of the mainstream media. I don't like kind of sound bites of information. I like to sit and listen to somebody dissect it all with data, with all sorts of stuff. And often when I'm building for large chunks of time, especially sometimes 2, 3, 4 hour sittings where it's a very lonely work at times, at least then I feel like I've got a bit of company and I'm not going totally insane.
Yeah, I find that really cool. I mean, at the minute, I'm listening to Scare Seekers at the minute. So obviously they go about and try and find things that are like scary, of course. But it's more like they've done like ghost hunting. They've done all sorts at the minute. I'd highly recommend them anyway. But we've already had them on the show as well. So, but yeah, it's a really good one to listen to. But I'll message you all there.
Do you want to tell people about is this? I can't remember what you referred to as the den.
The den, yeah. So this is the builder's den. So just kind of to give people a bit of an idea about what we've got. We've got 1,000 square feet of space, and we've in a 1920s Art Deco building. When we moved in, it was run down. It had been abandoned for 10 years, and I kind of started taking the rooms bit by bit and renting them from the owner as the business grew. And this was our latest creation. We opened this just in January of 2020. This was our latest thing because our business was doing this, and obviously things were growing. So this room is the builder's den. And what we have in here is, well, what I wanted to create was kind of a treehouse retreat, a sanctuary, as we referred to it earlier. but not that sanctuary. And where it's every kind of kid's dream to have this magical space they can go to that's got their toys in, that they're away from the world, they can be who they want to be, they can just explore the madness of imagination. And this was kind of the room. So I filled it with custom with the just epic. If you're ever in Yorkshire,
I was going to ask actually, do you do birthday parties for adults?
Well, I thought so. He's got the room.
That's what I was going to ask, but I'll let you explain more.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so this isn't actually our birthday party room. This is just our casual building room. So there's about 60,000 bits inside, and you pay per hour. It's a £5 to come and build. And at the end of the session, if you want to take home what you've made, you put your model on our scales and you pay for it like you'd pay for pick and mix. So you can take that model home. So we have people, I mean, most of the time people booking for an hour and they get through the first hour and go, ooh, I need another hour. Because they don't realize how it's not that it's time consuming. It's the fact that when you're actually building something that you want to build, you want to put that effort in. You want to find the right color. You want to find the right piece. You become kind of involved in that and attached to it. And although I could say that's a mean marketing ploy, I want people to have that time where they're not staring at their phone or they're staring at a screen. And often they don't do that with their kids that often. They haven't sat for a full hour with their children or even had the chance. Life is busy.
Yeah,
I know with myself, like I get home, my son gets home from school and it's like, right, schoolwork, let's get housework, let's get the cooking done. And then we've maybe got an hour of chill time at the end of the day and we're all worn out. So this is this time to come be mindful with the family, to build, to be creative. It's great for dexterity, great for problem solving. They don't realize that they're learning maths and physics and all these great skills. Absolutely. And I'm basically making money out of it, but that money's not the main thing for me. Without sounding like a nutter, the creative energy is what's important. I'm harvesting that, I'm creating that, and I'm sending that out into the universe. Whatever that means to people out there is whatever it means. But I have a very, very strong belief that it's really important that we have creative time in our lives. Whether, even if that's playing a football game, there's elements of playing football that's creative. You have to look for the passes, you have to look for the positions and everything. Playing a video game is creative. Well, it depends, unless you're just blowing the brains out of somebody. But hey, that's you do you.
Have you ever had to turn people away because it's busy?
Oh, absolutely. In the school holidays, we sometimes have to have days where we are exclusively booking only. If you've not pre-booked, you can't come in. We only have a limited capacity. And actually, one of the things that we're doing at the moment, because this room has been so successful for us, we're converting our other room that was a different style of room into another build room. So our challenge room, which closes on the 30th of July, is going to become the intergalactic build room. So the story of that room before was that the commander of the ship had he'd been on his home planet had lost all its.
Is it this one?
This room here, yeah. So this is the deck of his ship, and he's basically on a mission to try and restore imagination. Tyrannical forces have sucked all the power of freedom of speech and sucked all the power of imagination away. And it's caused the planet to decline. And he has hidden the secrets of imagination in little riddle cards. And you have to solve the riddles and then build sets to match the riddle cards. So for say, the riddles are simple. It's designed for children. We do have an adult set of riddles too. But yeah, it's like an escape room. You're trapped in there for an hour and you've got to solve as many riddles. And then you get a score at the end. And then that goes onto our leaderboard. But what we actually found was people just want to come and build. People literally want to come and build, and I could make the most exciting story ever, but the reality is people just want a lovely space to build in that's not their front room, so they're going to be stood all over it.
Yeah.
Did you want to advertise, because this is going to close, did you want to advertise the date?
It's closing on the 30th of July, so if you ever want to, this is the world's only brick themed, Lego themed challenge room. And yeah, come and see us, come and take it on. And afterwards in September, it will reopen as the Intergalactic Build Room. And then it will be. So the idea is that this, because I'm a big person in lore, I guess. I like creating a story, so everything's got meaning and a place to be. So the idea of this is that Imagination has been restored to his planet, and because we helped, our customers helped, he's setting up an international intergalactic build room to encourage creatures from all across the world and the galaxy to meet and build and share their imagination powers together. So that's kind of the continuation of the theme of the room into what it will become.
Do you know what I love though is the fact that you're just allowing a space for people to be creative, but then have that communication with each other and that togetherness, and it just all comes together. Everything that you're saying, it just comes together. And I think it's just brilliant, because for me, in a way, I quite like going to like art therapy. So for me, something like this is like, I'm not saying it is art therapy, but it is technically a positive outcome for all. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just lovely to see
if we look back in history, I think we were possibly a more tolerant species maybe 20, 30 years ago. And it pains me to say it, but I think an element of that was the fact that people went to a pub, people sat and talked, people went to church, regardless of what the thing is, people actually gathered and spoke. And there wasn't any of this, oh, you said something I don't like, I'm offended, I'm going to cancel you, or I'm going to be not part of this anymore. And I think people speaking together in an environment, doing something that they enjoy together, is really important for society. And I think that's something that, especially over the last 3 years, has been sucked out of us. You look at the clubs and the pubs, and it's now not what it used to be. It wasn't a place where people would gather to discuss what was going on. It's now a place where you go to get blind drunk and then not remember what happened the day before. Whereas if I can provide, or if places can provide spaces for people to meet, because I know a lot of people, like myself, I can't go to pubs. I don't enjoy that environment. It's too danger everywhere. My son calls it autism. I don't know what it is. I don't want to put a label on it because it's just me. It doesn't give me having a label on it.
I'm a bit the same with cities.
I think you kind of get like the odd loud person though, don't you, that's had one too many, and you're like, I can't have a conversation with the person at the side of me, when you want that more sort of meaningful connection with people.
For sure.
And the greatest thing is, if even it's just with some random strangers in the room, if they're building something else, you're like, hey, I like what you're building there. It just breaks the ice a bit, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And you're just straight away getting to know other people. It's not a case of, oh, you're this, or I'm offended. It's more of a case of, oh, why are you choosing that path? Why are you doing that? And it makes people having more of a conversation and getting to know others rather than just getting offended.
This was one of the things I was trying to initiate on TikTok as well. I would often, I'd just sit and build Lego. For 6 months, I would sit and build Lego maybe for 2 hours a night, and we'd have effectively like a town hall, and people would ask me questions and ask for my opinions on things, and we'd share and we'd debate and we'd discuss in the chat. And by the end of it, we'd get to the end of a session. It'd be like, I feel like we made good ground today. Like there would be people from all different. Oh, the bulb just dropped out of my ceiling over there. That's exciting. Oops. The joys of living in an old house. It generally just leapt out of the thing.
I just heard it in the background. It's like,
either that or it's my dodgy joinery or electricalness. But yeah, it's. I think that's what we need, and this is what I want to focus on as I move forward into the next parts of my work, and I guess my life's goals is bringing putting those environments in place where we can bring people together, we can have civil conversations, and we can, at the end of the day, break down the walls of ignorance and bring people together, rather than separating into these small tribes where we're weak and vulnerable.
And it has that, and it's a safe place to do it as well.
There's a
it's like you built a safe place that looks really comfortable, because I'd happily lay on those rugs and just build something like a child. Just get my inner child out.
And sometimes I notice it a lot with adults. They can be very resistant to it. And I mean, like really resistant. They'll sit on the sidelines, they'll stare at their phone, and their kids doing their thing. And then after sort of 15 minutes, I'll go back and they've maybe brought a tub to the seat and they're sat now fishing in a tub. And then it gets to sort of 45 minutes or even half an hour into the session, and they're now on the floor and they've got their own model and they're starting to, and I think this is what it's all about. Like people getting stuck into it and being one with their kids and their imagination, and it's grand, you know.
Just because he's asked it.
A coaster with the Jones has asked as well.
Lego Technic or the classic Lego?
Okay, I hate Lego Technic. It's horrible. For me, it's not relaxing. System Lego, I love it. It's great. And that's like your regular building bricks. Technic Lego, oh God. I appreciate that some sets need Technic frames, like especially the big UCS sets and the collector's models and some of the stuff that moves. But a lot of stuff I'm really not interested in at all. I mean, we got a big Technic Porsche thing in, and it's taken me about 20 hours to build it, and it's still not done, and it's just sat at the brick box on a shelf, and I'm like, do I need to build it? No, just leave it there. But saying that, the way that the Technic goes together and the fact it looks like nothing until almost the very end, and then suddenly it becomes this thing that moves and walks or has cranes or has levers and wheels. It's very impressive.
I know we shouldn't go back to Star Wars, but I have a General Grievous Lego that's very similar, and the limbs on it. And
one of the buildable ones, the posable ones.
Trying to get it to stand up. Oh, it's just annoying, and it has like
it's quite valuable now, you know.
Away. But I love it. As much as I love the character, it was really annoying to put it together.
Yeah.
So
sorry, I
didn't put that in the background. I should have had that up earlier, but
you've got Oogie Boogie in there instead, and we like Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie's there.
But yeah, he's actually quite collectible now, you know.
Is he?
Yeah, you're probably looking at about 50 to 60 pounds even used. He's like doubled in price.
It's starting to sound like Antiques Roadshow.
Sorry. Bring out your Lego. Bring out your Lego.
I do like him. Just because it took me so long and annoyingly how long to get all the arms and legs together. I was like, for God's sake, stand
my son has that one as well. He really liked General Grievous.
If we
he's cool. He's cool. He's got the moves.
I do want to talk about Lark in the Park and then Energylandia, but I thought since it's that kind of time in the show, I know the people watching will want to have some fun with it. Do you want to do some quizzes?
Absolutely. I go with the flow you got. It's really nice to just have a bit of geeky conversation.
So I've got 2 quizzes this week. I'll do the first. People in the live chat can help you out as well. Okay. The first one, I've got photos of minifigures that are IPs, and you've just got to tell me the character. And I've zoomed it in a bit.
And if anyone didn't see my General Grievous,
you can put it to the camera if you want. His feet are so bad though. He's very easy to fall over.
He's got the toes that just keep coming up, and that's what annoys me because he just can't balance. Anyway, I sound like General Grievous.
Okay, just before we do the quiz, Park Pulse, what started your interest in Lego?
Oh, that's a long story, but yeah, basically it was I liked it as a kid, and then when my son was born and he started getting little gifts, I became reinterested in it, and that's how it kind of reignited.
You said, yeah, get him Lego for his birthday, and then when it came, you're like, I'll build it for you, son.
I'll have that. And then they get older and they don't want your help anymore, and it's like, oh, now I have to buy my own Lego.
Yeah. Oh.
Let's go.
Okay, so that's an R2D2. Am I allowed to answer? Yeah,
you can do, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think people in the chat get annoyed because I think there's like a 8 to 10 second delay on them typing to it showing up.
Oh, okay, so I won't say anything then. You tell me.
Oh no, it's just the benefit of the quiz is for you overall. So
there's no point system or anything. It's all for fun. Oh.
It's Chris Pratt, but what he's
just something about Chris Pratt, and I want to ask people in the chat. And I always hear this because someone once told me something about someone's dad said, why is he called Crisp Rat? And now I hear Crisp Rat instead of Chris Pratt every time I hear someone say it. And now you might as well.
Maybe. I'm not a big fan of Hollywood, so he's but yeah, so that's either going to be from Jurassic. I think he's the Hollywood actor that has the most minifigures made of him. Useless fact for you. Yeah, I think it's him.
Did he do the voice for a Lego movie?
That's not useless. That's an interesting factoid.
Yeah, he's Emmett. And then that could be him as Jurassic World or as Star-Lord, I think.
Do you want to go for Star-Lord?
Oh, so let's put Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Star-Lord.
Do you get quite a lot of problems with people trying to trade in, I don't know what the right word is, counterfeit Lego?
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, all the time. And or I'll go to pick a job lot up. I'll get a message saying, "Oh, I've got a collection. In fact, I'm going to look at one tomorrow." And he's like, "Oh, I've got loads of Pirates of the Caribbean," but I know full well that it's the Mega Bloks Pirates of the Caribbean. If he had, so here's the idea: if he had the Mega Bloks ship, but the Lego version of it, so the Mega Bloks ship is worth about £15. The Lego version is worth about 400.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, and that's just because it's got Davy Jones in, and he adds hundreds of pounds to the value.
Davy Jones. Oh,
that's a minifigure I don't see very often.
I'm sure I've got that.
I think I know who it is, or it's one of 4.
It's one of my favourite sets, actually.
But which one of 4? If
it's got a hole in his pocket.
Oh, that
doesn't help you.
That doesn't help me.
In the film, he's got a hole in his pocket and he holds it in his hand, and the minifigure's got the hole in his hand.
Oh, well, maybe it's not the thing that I thought it was.
Yeah, it should be the thing you thought it was.
Who was the 4?
Is it a beetle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've never seen. I didn't even realize Lego Yellow Submarine was a film.
Ooh,
it's an animated film.
Coasting with the
Shame on me. And I like a good bit of the Beatles as well. Sgt. Pepper's is one of my favorite albums ever.
Do you want to go with the Joneses on Ringo for that?
Yeah, I'm going to go with that because I've no idea who it could be. Really, it's just one of them. Hey,
exactly. That's what the black thing is. He's holding. He's got a hole in his pocket, and he gets it out of his pocket.
Ah, right.
And then he jumps into it in the film as well.
Here's me thinking it was a
right.
Lego.
Okay, so I know who this one is.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
You can guess it if you want.
Okay, so this one's Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas and the Disney Series 2 minifigures.
Are they gonna? Is that Ideas set that I saw on the internet? Is that actually coming to fruition?
Yes. Yep. It is on its way. There's a lot of value in the. In fact, I just sold a Jack for £10 actually.
Oh.
He's very valuable, and the brickheads have gone in. I've got the brickheads somewhere. Jack and Sally. They're very expensive brickheads.
I'm not a fan of the style of the brickheads myself.
Me neither. I just bought them because they were Jack and Sally. Okay, so it's something with a guitar.
Is it?
You'll know what it is.
I don't know the answers here, but
is it the Disney film that's the Day of the Dead thing?
Series. Yeah.
You make me un poco loco.
Oh.
Hey, you keep me dancing.
There we go.
He's not going to get it from the song.
I count it as a blessing.
Yeah. Oh God. I don't know what the character's called, but is the film Coco?
Yeah, I just put the film name instead of his name because I thought you wouldn't know.
That's one of my favourite songs for that film.
Okay, so do we want specific suit marks, or is it just?
You can do if you want. I've only just.
Oh no, I'm not that good. I'm not that good. It's just going to be the Man of Iron, Mr. T. Stark.
Yeah. Oh God, he's got a big head, hasn't
he? Are you a fan of the film?
I've never seen them.
I saw some of the first film, and I know it's meant to be his character, but the amount of arrogance in his character, I always want to see him get killed by the villain.
Oh, Coasting with the Joneses did the cat.
So apparently, from what I can gather from one of my friends who's a very big Marvel geek, he is meant to be an arrogant, alcoholic, womanizer type character, and Disney erased that after they got hold of the franchise and made him more of a wisdom-y character for the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of basically bled him dry of all his personality to make him more family friendly.
Yeah, they made him more of like a focused engineer, technical guy.
Oh, that's a classic Robin, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, old school. Oh, Rubius Hagrid.
Yeah. Next one will be easy as well.
Oh.
Yeah, but which one is it? This is the problem.
Oh,
no, what? How do you not know?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so
can you tell by the colour?
That's what I'm going on, but I'm like, is it that one or is it the other one? I want to. Well, I know all the names, but which is the purple turtle?
Purple, yeah.
Oh God. Okay, Michelangelo's the orange one, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. Then there's a Donatello. There's a. Oops. Oh my God. It's
Which one's your
escaping me
favorite
now.
one?
We can't remember the names.
I can't even remember the name. I'm sorry. I haven't seen Turtles for it's probably since I was about 7 years old. So that's
Most of the Joneses thinks it might be Donatello. I don't know if you want to trust them on that.
Okay, well, I'm going to go with those guys. They were right last time, so I'm going with
Ben and
Donatello.
Holly think it's Donatello as well.
Yes, Ben and Holly.
Yeah,
Look at that. You guys are on
Donatello.
form. Well done.
He's my favorite one.
Another guitar one.
Lego
idea set.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Ben and Holly.
Okay, you might have actually stumped me with this one. Guitar Lego ideas set.
It's a sitcom.
Oh, I'll have no idea then.
That 70s show or something.
So I'll list them that they did. So there's Friends, there's Frasier, there's Big Bang, there's
Phoebe.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is this when she sings about a cat?
Fraser then?
Yes.
Did they do Fraser then in Lego?
They sing about cat.
I'm sure it was Fraser. Is it Fraser or Seinfeld or something like that? Some American
It's Frasier. It's the
I think
psychologist.
I think Ewan will get the next one.
It's Big Bird.
Yeah, I didn't even know we did a Lego of Big Bird.
I've not got photos of it. What is?
He's quite expensive, actually. His Big Bird.
What is that minifigure like when you take the Big Bird piece off?
So he's the same as Chicken Man. If you've ever seen the Chicken Man minifigure, it's just like with wings as arms, and it's like a sandwich board piece that goes over the neck and the head. Over the neck.
So does he have a face on the inside head or not?
No, there's no actual traditional minifigure face. That's kind of just a piece that goes like Hot Dog Man. It kind of slots over the body and clicks onto the neck piece. Hey, Mr. Simpson.
Yeah, he looks like
Homer. Not from the Simpsons house either. That one's from the series minifigure because he doesn't look like he's been smoking on things. I don't know if you've noticed that. Oh my gosh, that's a rare minifigure, that one. Very expensive.
Do you know his name?
Yeah, Nesquik Bunny. But that's as much as I know.
That's what I've got. He's called Quickie, but yeah, it's the Nesquik Bunny.
Oh, Quickie, yeah. Quickie.
Yeah, look how creepy that face is.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's so creepy.
I first thought it was the Cadbury's rabbit. The Cadbury's caramel rabbit. And then I thought,
low budget. You got Cadbury's caramel bunny from Wish. Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't realise that Nesquik did anything like that. So that's
it was like a polybag, wasn't it? I think.
I don't know.
Oh, there he is, Mr. Buzz Lightyear.
Yeah. Did they do any sets for the Lightyear film or not?
They did, yeah, but they
they
flopped massively, just like the film. Oh, it's a doll. So it's a princess of some variety.
Disney.
So it's got to be maybe Moana.
Yeah.
I've not seen that film. To be honest, I haven't watched anything that's come out of Disney for years.
I've seen Moana.
Mr. Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, I like that minifigure. I like the hair.
Yeah, and his tricorn hat. He's actually one of the more expensive Jack Sparrow ones. They did one as well with his voodoo printing on his face. That was pretty cool.
Mm.
Oh, everyone got Moana.
So have we seen the one with the voodoo printing on? Not that one.
Does the one with the voodoo printing on look very similar to his character in Lone Ranger?
Yeah, a little, yeah. Yeah, it's got like loads of eyes on it. Oh, it's got to be the Tin Man.
Yeah. That was from a minifigure series, wasn't it? It wasn't actually.
Yeah, it was actually Lego Movie 2. God
yeah.
knows why.
I just want to know, is that actually a mini funnel on his head? Like a real funnel, or is it just a...
If it was, I don't know what you'd use it for.
No,
I guess not. I guess it doesn't have a hole in the top.
I don't know. I'm curious. Is that weird?
Yeah. Well, that's got to be Shaggy with a Scooby snap.
Yeah.
Great minifigure. Well, do you know what? Do you know what's funny about that is Velma from that series. She is worth about £80.
I need to go look at my Lego set 1 second.
If you have a Velma, she's very valuable. That's that's the BBC thing, isn't it? Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Doctor Who. I couldn't tell you which Doctor that is, though. My dad would, but I'm a bit useless.
Thing is, even if I have high value Lego, I don't think I'd part with it.
Is it Doc Brown?
Yeah. His body looks weird because of the way they've done his coat on the trousers.
Yeah. I Is that from the Lego Idea set, or is that Lego Dimensions?
I'm
that
not
one?
sure. I kind of got the images. Some of them I was aware, like the Tin Man. I was aware he came out of a minifigure series, but I'm not sure which set this is. I think it's from the first, because they did a second time of that set with the DeLorean.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they did like an adult version of the DeLorean. I've got the Ideas DeLorean. It's very expensive apparently now.
I've got the Ecto one.
Oh yeah, the Ideas one.
Yeah.
We've got
Yeah,
quite
it's
a
nice.
few sets. It's just building
Right.
up into...
Don't be
Oh.
overwhelmed by this.
I did okay. Now I'm gonna. Oh my gosh.
Too late.
Theme park names. But the first one
so
is
the first one I can get that one.
what's that?
Yeah, that's Alton Towers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my
Can I guess one?
God.
You can if you want, yeah.
The next one on the right is Grundalund.
Groenland.
Oh,
yeah.
Gronalund.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, well done.
Oh, thanks.
The yellow one should be quite relevant for this episode.
Yellow. Lego.
Oh, Legoland Windsor.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
The blue
Okay.
one is in Spain.
The
Don't
blue
know.
one is in Spain. Oh, Terramitica.
Yes.
Hey.
The next one is one you've been to fairly recent. Well, not fairly recent. I think maybe last year, because you're talking to Ginger and Brown about it when we were at Towers.
No,
Children.
I haven't been. Is it Phantasialand?
Yeah.
Fantasia.
I haven't been there. No.
Oh, because I thought you were saying to them, didn't you see them at Phantasialand?
No, Energylandia.
Oh, but you were talking about whether you were going to go in Energylandia or Phantasialand.
We were gonna go over, yeah, because I've still got tickets to use from when we weren't allowed to fly out because of the Yorkshire variant.
Oh.
Back in the days of craziness.
The orange one is fairly local to you.
Oh, Dingo Bland. Sorry, Flamingo Land.
Land, yeah.
And then is Holiday World the next
Holiday
one?
World, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the next
Oh, you're doing
one.
well,
DNA. Oh, the bottom one's Adventure Island.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got the grey one.
The red one.
Do you know the grey one or not?
I'm not sure. Can I have a clue?
Yeah, someone's written it in the comments.
Oh, what? Drayton Manor.
Oh,
Drayton Manor,
Drayton Manor.
Red one is yeah.
The red one.
The thing is, the people at home have got like Google and stuff, so I don't know if they're just going to put it into Google.
The red one.
It's in France.
Not
yeah, and I don't know.
Not Asterix.
No, it's
Bagatelle. Is it
Bagatelle?
Bagatelle?
Yeah, he's got it. I didn't know if you'd know about Bagatelle.
It's a little park, right?
Go.
Hey, together we got there.
Got them all, yeah.
Yeah, did really well there, actually. I will never get Terramitica. That's the
Pretty
one I was
useless.
You know.
I don't
Would you
know.
like to know a little funny story about Terramitica?
Go on then.
So I was on I was on my first ever holiday with friends. I'd never been on holiday with friends before, and they were a lot older than I was. They were they were mid-20s, and I was just turned 18. And all they wanted to do was drink, and then be hungover all day, and then be drunk, and then be hungover all day. And I'm not that person. I want to be exploring. I want to sample the culture. I want to go out. And I basically said to them, "Look, one day I want to go to a theme park." So we organised, and Terramitica was the closest park. And we turned up, and it had closed for the season 3 days before, and the website hadn't updated, and we'd spent all this money on a taxi. And I was looking at all these roller coasters, and none of them were open. So I've been to the entrance of Terramitica, but never been in.
I'd love to go again, just because and this sounds really weird. I've heard how bad it is now. Apparently, it's laid out very differently to when I went many years ago, and it's laid out in a route, and you kind of go around the whole park in one. It looks very bad.
Need to arrange a love to explore trip.
And I don't think the entrance is through the gates of Egypt anymore, but I could be wrong, because that used to be really cool. But
yeah, maybe
Get
one
a
day.
group of us or something, and then go from there to go see it. Maybe that'd be cool. Oh,
at some point, yeah. I'm just
there we
sorting
go.
out.
Mike's just sorting out.
We've got a few more minutes. We can talk about. Do you want to talk about Energylandia, or do you want to talk about Larkin Park?
Let's go Energylandia, because it's wonderful. It is just. I don't know how you guys feel. Have you been?
I've not been. No.
No.
Yeah, it's a weird park. It's a park of two halves, and I know it gets a lot of criticism for the first part, But my goodness me, if they keep going the way they're going with the second half of the park, everything about the place is set up to be spot on, like world class. And I've been to a lot of parks, not so much recently, but in my late youth. But it is, I mean, we had 3 days there, and I would never have 3 days at a theme park. Like, that's insanity. I sacrificed a day climbing the mountains and going to the countryside for another day at Energylandia because we were just having such a good time.
Oh, I've got a question here. How good is Zadra?
Very.
Zadra?
Are you Zadra or Hyperion?
Zadra.
Yeah, I know some people that prefer Hyperion.
I think we did I think it was about 60 plus rides over 3 days on Zadra. I mean, I was bruised, but it just hauls. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just so well designed and made. It's forceful, it's intense, but it's not the point where, like, the Smiler is forceful and intense, but it feels like it hurts me when I go on that ride. Like, I get off and I feel like I've been beaten up. But with Zadra, it was just get off, go back round again, and again and again and again and again and again. And, the ride crew was laughing at us, but this is another element of why I love the coaster community. It's the fact that we were there at the start of the day, and so were fans from all across the world. So there were people from America. Last time I was there, I bumped into Dan and Paris and Jack, and because we were there first thing, we were there to ride it, and everybody at that point, the atmosphere and the Polish people that are getting on the ride, they're like, yeah, this is. I swear to God, they must get off and think, what the hell is that? We've never felt anything like that, because it's just such a weird thing. I imagine we study these, we love these coasters, are our lives. It's something that we adore. So we know so much about them, and we know the feelings, and we've been on so many different types. But for a lot of people, especially in Poland, where there's not really any, for them going to somewhere like that for the first time, it must be mind-blowing.
Yeah.
And
kickstart more enthusiasts as well.
and it was so cheap. I would really recommend going. I mean, we flew out. You can get flights. The last time we flew out for £20 return.
Oh.
Then we rented a car. It's like 45 minutes from Krakow airport. The park's dirt cheap to get into, and then the food. We were eating like kings. Like, we go to a Merlin park and it's like, I'm not paying £12 for a McDonald's single cheeseburger. Not a chance on this earth. That doesn't even have 100% beef in it anymore. I'm not doing that.
I've seen that in the window. Yeah,
it's embarrassing, for starters. The fact that a theme park that's been established for 40 years is, I would now say, I would probably rather, if I had £1,000 to spend, or even £500 to spend, I'd rather fly out to Poland and have the faff of going to Energylandia than having 2 nights in the hotel at Alton Towers. And I love Alton Towers. Like, it started me on this journey. I mean, we've not really spoken much about the journey of me and what I want to achieve in life and all this stuff, but it ignited a magical flame inside me. And now I look at the place and I think, all these kids that are coming through, they're not seeing the place that I used to see.
Yeah.
No. And all those people that need that magic to find a purpose, to find their calling in life, Alton Towers might not provide that anymore, because it's not what it was. But there are places out there. Efteling is one of them. Oh my goodness me. Oh, that's a beautiful theme park. Europa Park is another one.
Yep.
I'm sure Phantasialand is. I would love to go. I'm so excited to eventually get there whenever I do.
Would you say you'd be as much of an enthusiast if Alton Towers was how it is now when you first went?
I don't think I would have ever cared. I honestly don't think I would have cared. I would have been like a normal person who would have gone to a theme park for the day once a year or whatever it is, for a birthday or a treat or a school trip, and then thought, oh, right, okay, that's something that people do. But whilst Merlin owned that park, it's never going to be anything more than a money-making machine for them.
Loops and Lap Bars International, so I think we all hope that Alton Towers will get back to being what it once was as well.
Well, if Merlin decide to eventually part with it or whatever they're doing, I want to be in the position to be able to go, that's my park, and I will make that how it should be.
That would be cool.
Now I know people will laugh, but that's basically why I've not really been part of the coaster community over the last sort of 10 years. Like you say, it's sort of 10, 12 years since we crossed paths, really. And that's because I've been putting my heart and soul into work and building a business that I can upscale. It almost did open a gateway. In fact, today I had some bad news. I was about to buy a 4.5 acre site that was a soft play area and a farm and kind of a leisure facility. But unfortunately, it's fallen through. Solicitors were involved, and I've got a broker, and we were getting evaluation done, and really exciting stuff. And that was going to be the base of this. And people laugh. And I remember years ago there was a guy that was going to build a theme park, and he was a enthusiast, and people were like, "Ha, you can never do that." And now I'm actually in that position where there is a man that sat in an office somewhere that has looked at my business proposal and gone, "Oh, this guy knows what he's doing. This guy's running a business already that's very successful. Oh,
yeah,
we might actually lend him £1 million." And that's the start. And then from that point, the ball starts rolling. So that is kind of my life goal, because I've wanted it ever since I was a young boy. And people will say, you're going to ruin your hobby. I'm like, no, I'm going to make somewhere that everybody that has this hobby will find the most magical, beautiful place on earth.
Yeah.
Because I look at the ethos of Disney. I look at what he wanted to do. I look at what lives in his heart, and I see that. But what I see now is this cold corporate shadow of what it was. And one of the things that really irks me is the fact that kids who need to hear the message of Disney, the message that if you believe in your heart, if you believe in your dreams, if you have those things, in the happily ever after fireworks, it's look up to the sky, we all have the courage to fly, all those things. But for the kids who need to hear it, they can't afford the £100 ticket entry to get into Disneyland, and that's the thing that I want to eradicate, so that theme parks can become accessible again, because it's a blooming expensive day out.
It is, and I'll wholeheartedly agree that as well. Even from my childhood, it still couldn't afford it.
I'm gonna finish on this question.
Okay.
Bob says, what 5 parks would recommend for his first European trip, because he's in the States?
Oh, okay. So Energylandia for sure, Efteling, Europa Park, probably Phantasialand. I haven't been to Park Asterix, but it looks fantastic. Toverland is very beautiful too. I really liked Toverland when I went there. Unfortunately, though, I got spited for Maximus Blitzbarn, which I was so excited for. I like quirky, weird things when I go to parks. Things that are a bit out of the box,
So I'll ask you a few stuff you want to plug in a minute, but I'm just going to plug Attractions Ultimatum. This was the bracket, and over the last few weeks, we've had the panel on every week, and we've discussed the rides and then voted which one should go through. And it's Corkscrew and Toyland Tours, and the final,
which is funny enough, Alton Towers.
It's going to be on Monday, 17th of July, and there is going to be that is when we decide who wins the giveaway as well.
Oh my gosh! So the giveaway information should be on.
Well, they can't enter it now. It's locked in.
It's locked.
You can't enter it anymore. It's finished a while ago. But as far as I'm aware, there are 9 people that thought Corkscrew would win and 2 that thought Toyland Tours would win. So they're going to go into a draw live at the end of the episode. But that's when it's happening.
I'll probably get.
Look back at the bracket quickly. I can't believe Slammer beat Pirate Adventure. That still haunts me to this day.
I used to love operating Slammer.
It's still standing, isn't it?
It's sad. I could probably talk for hours and hours with you about this stuff. Like, there's so much to dissect.
Well, you have to come on again in a few months.
I'd love that. It's been wonderful. Just sitting having a nice kind of.
Next week, I've got some Americans on again from ACE, American Coaster Enthusiasts. They're going to talk about CoasterCon, which happened a few weeks ago. They had a whole week at Dollywood and Carowinds, I believe, and they it was Dollywood, ERS on various rides throughout the week and talks and things, and they're going to tell us what happened there. My God. And if I can get Joe on again, our favourite Belgian, he's going to tell us about Hopefully he'll come on and tell us about his road to 1,000 creds, and even though it happened a few months ago, the Leesburg event. I think it was the Lunar event. I could be wrong. Their new boomerang coaster.
Lunar event.
Yeah, they had a load of enthusiasts go, which seemed like a good idea. But I really want to talk to him because it seems like once you get ECC and ACE and all these other groups, it's suddenly a lot of people there for something that's meant to be a unique experience.
Right.
I've got Loops and Lightball saying it still can't, still not over Ramesses' revenge, and then Ben and Holly's theme park adventure just shouting corkscrew.
I don't know. I feel
already we're already getting this.
I feel like
going.
corkscrew
I don't know.
is everyone's saying it's going to win from the start, and it would kind of be enjoyable if it doesn't.
We've had, if you look at our previous vlogs though, just have a good watch of them. And
it's in the playlist in the description.
Views. Yeah.
But corkscrew almost lost to Loggers Leap in the.
It's been an interesting
quarterfinal.
journey.
You have to do the deciding vote because the panel was. Because we don't vote on it. We have a panel of like 6 people that do it.
Technically, I voted on one of them because there was a even number. But yeah.
But is there any stuff you want to plug? I've got your links in the description, Ewan. But is there stuff you want to plug to people?
No, if all the links are there, then obviously we've got TikTok, we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, we've got. We have a Bricklink store, so even if you don't live near the Brick Box, you can order parts from us. We've got over 35,000 parts on our Bricklink store. Just search for Brickbox Yorkshire. And soon we're hoping to do a merch range as well. Like that's been one of the weirdest things is when I've got kids coming in who are saying, "Where can I buy your merch?" I'm like, "Is that a thing?"
Do you sell the Brickbox t-shirts then?
No, but I have a lot of demand for it, so I think this Christmas I may invest because we've just rebranded, you see. So we're moving into our next stage of evolution. Yeah, obviously there's a lot. Well, maybe I can come back another time and we can talk about the next stage of evolution because there's a lot to talk about.
Be cool, even if you want to talk after the show as well.
If anyone wants some enjoyment, he's saying he'll go and battle Galleons naked if Toyland Tours wins. So.
What?
Especially with the Joneses, that might never visit Alton Towers again soon, but we'll see.
He's trying to put people off.
You see, for me, it would have to be Toyland Tours because it had a big impact on my. That was the first ever dark ride I ever experienced. So for me, that was mind blowing. Like, it left me. I'm actually writing a book at the moment. I know that sounds probably really sad, but my life's been a funny one. So I've started documenting it and writing things down because I don't want to sound big-headed or pig-headed, but I have a job to do and I know that job. It's been given to me. I don't know what by the universe, whatever it is. But when I'm not on that job, my brain says you need to be on your job. You need to be back to it. So there's a lot to come, and I've started documenting it all. And maybe one day I'll release it, or maybe I'll just keep it as a memoir type thing to show my hopefully grandkids. Maybe there won't be any more kids for me, but maybe my son will bear some children at some point and spread on the family name.
Just thinking about how much that memoir is going to be, if like not how much in money, but like if this journey progresses, it'll be like I don't want to compare you to Walt Disney, but it'll be like someone who makes this place, and it's like, well, this was when. Before he did that, and this is the book, and this is
where it all started and how I got together.
And people laugh at me, but it's still written in my Levers book. Ewan, I hope you'll give me free tickets when I come to your theme park in however many years, and I will keep that promise. When I've done it, they will have tickets to come and visit with their families because they'll all be grown up now, and we would. This is. Yeah, I would love to do a show where we really deep dive into what I want.
I didn't know how much we were allowed to talk about that. That's why I never really touched it.
Let's save it for another show.
Obviously, we've not spoken for a long time, so it's good to catch up a little bit and bring sort of up to speed because there's a lot of stuff, and obviously philosophy plays into that as well, and archetypal hero stories and all that kind of stuff, and the influences that we have around us they're really important. And obviously having my son really early in life, changed a lot. You know, I think to myself, if he hadn't have come along, would I even be on this journey anymore? Would it have come to pass? Or would I just be somebody who was living from paycheck to paycheck to just get on roller coasters? Would I never have put that desire to ride into a desire to create and then into a desire to build?
I love how
people laugh at me. But I will build an RMC in this country.
Yeah.
If I will do it because I just love them. They're fantastic. Whoever came, the guys at RMC, they need a freaking award. Well, they've won plenty of awards, but they really are fantastic manufacturers. I love it. But yes,
I just love how you've got like this vision, this like goal, and then you just constantly like manifesting and I will get there. I will.
Well,
I
it
will.
seems-
Even though you've
it
had
seems
people laugh
attainable.
at you, you are still going and you're still, you know.
yeah. 2 years ago, someone
Giving it
said to me,
your
"You're
all
never
is
going to be able to
brilliant.
buy. You're never going to be able to buy some land." Well, I nearly just got a loan for
Oh,
£1
well.
million. Like literally, some nutter in London somewhere went, "Oh, this weirdo that does Lego and theme park things up in Yorkshire. He sounds all right. That guy. We're going to give him some money." Like, what the hell? I never
That's
thought I'd be able to
wonderful.
even open that door. So the fact that the door is starting to open more and more is I've just not got to put all my chickens in one basket. I've got a
Yeah.
business to run and I have to make sure that that's maintained. I don't get distracted and I put the things in place so that I'm building a network around me of people and of things that will support me, hopefully, until whatever the sky's the limit.
But you're looking after you and your little family at the same time. That's the thing. You're not burning yourself out over it.
Oh, well, there's a bit of burning out.
A little bit every once in a while, but not constantly. So
This is it, you know, and the sacrifice of that sometimes, like we said, was not being able to go to Coaster Meets for 10 years, was having to bow out of the scare industry, was having to not be able to be part of the hobby. But the flip side of that is, well, I'm going to make a haven for everybody that loves our hobby. Hopefully, mate. Hopefully, I will. I don't like to speak negatively, but yeah.
Is there anything you want to say to everyone before we wrap it up?
Just thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting Mike and Stacey as well. And thanks for you guys for having me. And it's been wonderful. And
I think I'll have a word around as well because I think some other people want to go, but I'm tempted to come down on the final weekend to check out that room before it closes for a bit.
I want to go, but I want to book for my birthday probably at one point.
I know, but I want to go to the room that's closing on the 30th forever.
But yeah, obviously,
well,
that mine's December, so, but yeah, the bit before it closes.
Well, I just had a hen party come up from South London, so we cater for everybody. That was an interesting affair, though. I had to go around inspecting all the drawers afterwards because they'd hidden an inappropriate Lego build everywhere.
That's going to be a story for another time.
Exactly.
Do you know our catchphrase by any chance or not?
You what, sorry?
Do you know our catchphrase or not?
No.
Oh, it's always the running gag that I guess never know it.
So we'll see you
in the rear view.
Because for now,
we're gone.
Bye.